Okay, so for this tutorial I'm just going to show you how to create two different types of spirals. The first is known as a logarithmic spiral. That's a spiral that gets tighter as it goes in towards the centre. It's spirals that you'd find in nature, in shells, etc. The second type of spiral is called an Archimedean spiral, and that is where the spaces are equal all the way into the centre. So Illustrator allows you to create perfect expanding spirals using the spiral tool. So the spiral tool is found under the line segment tool. So if you click on the line segment tool and drag down until you select the spiral tool. So there's two ways that you can create your spiral. You can just by simply clicking and dragging onto the canvas, your spiral will appear. If you want to alter the settings of the spiral, the first thing you need to do is click and the spiral options will appear. So I'm going to talk you through the three different settings here. The first one is the radius, and that specifies the size of the spiral. However, you don't really need to play with this because you can easily scale the spiral up or down once it has been made. The second is decay. Decay is based on the wraps in the spiral. So the closer the decay value is to 100%, the more wraps the spiral has. A very low decay rate and the spiral will look more like a curved line. So you can see in the examples I've made, this one has an 80% decay. We've got one that's 60%, 40 and 20. When it comes to 20, it looks more like a curved line. The segments is the number of quarter turns in the spiral. So these two examples, we've got both these spirals set at 80% decay. The first one has 10 segments, and you can count them here, all the way into 10, and this one has 20, so you can see it becomes more detailed in towards the middle. So I'm going to just create another spiral so let's just have a play with 60 and 10 and go OK, and there it is. So again we can select our spiral tool, click, we'll do another one. So we'll say this one's going to be based on 8 segments, or we can have fun, we can make 15 and go 90% decay. And you can see it becomes closer to a circle. If I set it at 100% decay, it does become a circle. That's because it's wrapped all on top of each other. Okay, so when you've made your spirals, it's also quite interesting to play with the stroke width and the stroke profile. So here with profile 1, you can see that I've created a spiral that gets thinner, thicker, and then back to thin and towards the middle. Okay, so the next spiral we're going to make is this Archimedean spiral, and there's kind of a few different ways you can do this, but this technique I'm going to show you is the way I've found to be the easiest. So I'm just going to draw a line. Changing its settings to say 3 mil. Okay, so select my line and I'm going to go to this tool called the twirl tool. Now the twirl tool is found under the width tool. So again, select the width tool, hold down and then select twirl tool. Now once you've selected that, we want to change the settings for the twirl tool. So to do that, you just double click on that, on the icon, and the settings will appear. Okay, so I'm just going to reset. So your ones will look like this. In the width, I'm going to change it to 60 mil. Height, 60 mil. I'm going to leave the angle and intensity the same. The twirl rate, I'm going to leave the same. The detail, I'm going to bring all the way up to 10. And simplify, I'm going to turn off. So that is how we want our settings to be. And we say OK. To make the twirl, I go over my line and I just click until I'm happy with my twirl. So you can see here, I can do less or more. So I'm happy with this one. So now I'm just going to delete the additional points I don't want. So I'm going to delete those two. And I'm going to delete the start. The other part that I don't want is how it's a double spiral, so it's going all the way in and then it goes out again. So I'm going to delete that. So I zoom in, delete one of those points, and now I'm going to delete one of my lines. And then we have a spiral that is equally spaced all the way to the center. You can also change the cap, the stroke cap. So if I select my line, go to my stroke options and select the round cap, you can see that that just creates a nice end for the start and end of my spiral.